about to die this thing.
Relax.
Man, I can't breathe in my face. Just get up.
What do you want?
I can't breathe. Please, the knee in my neck. I can't breathe.
Bro, get up, get in the car, man.
I will.
Get up, get in the car.
I can't move.
I've been waiting the whole time, man. Get up, get in the car.
Mama.
Get up and get in the car right.
I can't.
Just gave y'all the opportunity to get in, bro. I told you can't win.
My knee.
You can't win, man.
They a tough guy. You're not even resisting the rest, bro.
His whole nose is
Follow him.
Bro, but why you just sit there? He ain't doing nothing now. Put him in the car.
Don't kill me.
How long y'all gotta hold him down?
This is why you don't do drugs, kids.
It ain't about drugs, bro. Y'all understand
Nah,
that?
y'all don't gotta put y'all right.
He is human, bro.
His nose is
But I'm saying you
bleeding.
can put him in the car.
For 5 minutes, we watched as a white officer pressed his knee into the neck of a black man. For 5 minutes. When you hear someone calling for help, you are supposed to help. This officer failed in the most basic human sense.
That's bro. That's bro. He's stopping his breathing right there, bro.
We clearly have policies in place regarding placing someone under control and what are areas that could be of risk. And so obviously that'll be a part of the full investigation that we'll do internally, a use of force review, but certainly the FBI will be looking at that as well.
Relax.
Man, I can't breathe in my face.
Whew. First time I seen the video, I seen the pictures. My thing is like, when are we seriously going to get together and make change? This ain't about, yes, Black Lives Matter. We know people will look at it and say, well, all lives matter. It's simple, you know, and I heard Ricky Smiley he said it's like, you know, Black Lives Matter is like somebody's house is on fire and the fire department is going to their house and you call the fire department, hey, my house matters too. Your house ain't on fire. But when are we going to get this thing together? Like, we keep seeing people dying, and then we have ignorant people. Let's just put it real. Ignorant people that love to comment about, well, black people kill more black people than white people. So that's just okay. So every time somebody dies, a cop, right? The first thing people want to do is what? They want to bring it up. Black on black crime. Just plain out ignorant. Just plain out ignorance, which is lack of knowledge. It's just ignorance. And again, you can be well educated. Let me just break it down. There's different levels of common sense. And there are certain levels that we think people should have in some. They don't. It does not matter. So, let me say this. It's time for real change. This is why we got to make sure we vote. This is why we got to understand how these laws work. This is why we got to, and listen, all we really got to do is send these cops to jail. See, they got fired. Listen, they know they was wrong. They about to do an investigation. Come on now. This stuff has been going on far too long. Every week something happens. We got to get together. Yes. Does black on black crime need to stop? Yes, it does. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we got to do better community, but every time somebody dies, we have people that say, oh, well, you know, some more blacks. And that's how ignorant it is, because that's all they want to talk about. Like, as if, for instance, a house is on fire. You want to talk about a house over somewhere else. Oh, well, look at their house. Come on now. We got to do better. We got to put the right people in office. It ain't about just education. We got to put the people in office that want to do what's right for the people. That's what we got to do. This thing is bigger than blue and red, and people that sit here and say, oh, the Democrats this. Don't act like they ain't corruption in the Republicans. Come on now. Is you that ignorant, or are you that ignorant that you really think that there's no corruption in the Democrats? I mean, in the Republicans. Come on now. There's corruption in both parties. There's people that need to be removed. But let's just be real. We got to put the right people in office, and we got to change these laws. And these people listen, all cops ain't bad. I understand that. I got pulled over today. I went a little bit over the speed limit because I was talking to somebody on the phone, you know, and now listen, and I was just coasting. Gave me a warning. Listen, all cops ain't bad. Now, have I had some incidents where some cops was ignorant? Yeah, I had a cop give me a ticket because I was sleeping at the school when I came to pick up my son. I was so tired. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to sleep here so I don't fall asleep and not pick him up. You know, and I was at the elementary and I'm sitting there. Now, mind you, this is the area where all the police. Now, listen, it does have a sign that say, you know, no parking, you know what I'm saying, right there. But everybody gets their kids at that time or whatever like that. And I just happened to do it 20 minutes before the time frame. And then he gonna say, oh, if I would have known you were sleeping, I wouldn't have gave you a ticket. You ain't knock on the door. I'm laying right here. And then his sergeant lied. You know what? I ain't even worried about it. You know what I'm saying? But there's some other incidents. But listen, all cops ain't bad. What we got to do is we got to remove these cops. See, it's almost like, you know, we talk about the apple don't fall far from the tree. But there's one bad apple or a few bad apples. You don't get rid of the whole tree. And so that's what we got to do. We got to remove these people. That's what we got to remove. And we got to clean up this justice system. It's simple, man. It's just like, it's like a tire. Imagine a black tire and it has a slow leak. The only way to find out where the leak is at is to inflate it with air. And you got to find where it's coming from. And so we got all these cases that are going to the justice system and we see people are getting off and we got to figure out, okay, we got to find out where the leak is at and we got to change it. That's what we got to do. The system was set up. Yeah, we say, oh, is it just the justice or just us? That's what we got to do. And we see how certain judges act. Listen, we can vote them in, vote them out. It's simple. We see that. They showing their true hand. Why would we want to keep them in office? And people say, and ignorant people, again, well, you know, voting don't matter. That's exactly what they want you. That's exactly what they want you to do. Because if you don't vote, you pretty much voting for them. And they say, well, I don't want to vote for this person. Then listen, why don't you encourage somebody to go and be that? We see that all the time. There's kids that are talking about being judges and lawyers and stuff like that. And mayors, listen, encourage them to go do something. They found stimulus money for what? For what? This COVID? But no money was for Flint, Michigan. Come on now. They could have found that money. They didn't want to. Because we know, let's be real, it's predominantly black. But there's some doctors, some lawyers, and we're not just talking, yeah, you know, some of them going to be athletes, but some doctors, some lawyers, some veterinarians, whatever, librarians, whatever. Come on now. We got to do better as people. We keep going through this same thing. This stuff, I didn't watch that movie Detroit, and I'm like, this stuff is still happening. We still doing the same thing. What do? We get mad. Ain't nothing wrong with protesting, but we got to do something positive. We got to channel that energy. Just like a battery, it has a positive and a what? If it don't have the negative charge, it's not going to have a spark. And we got to take that negativity and do something positive with it. That's what we got to do. Tell me this ain't where we at right now. Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. I'm going to go with the NIV version. I like it on this one. When the sentence for a crime is not quickly carried out, people's hearts are filled with schemes to do wrong. That's why so many people are mad. But like I said, what we got to do is we got to change this system. It's simple. Cause see, let's just be real. Let's break it down. Cause see, I'm gonna do another video, but I just wanted to do something real quick. Let's break it down. See, a lot of these cops were taught to see black people as criminals and whites as mentally ill. It's simple. They was trained to do that. They was trained to see them like that. It's like blacks are guilty until proven innocent, and whites are innocent until proven guilty. So we see, because we can see that they can restrain when they want to, when it comes to a white counterpart that has had a gun at them and stuff like that. Come on now. That's how they were trained. Just like people that come from different countries and you see a country like something and that's all you see, and all of a sudden it's like, that's not how it is. That's how TV portrays it. Yeah. If that's all you see, if you get one side of the facts, like I tell people all the time, facts don't always equate to the truth. Imagine you got a person, right? They end up selling drugs. And so a police officer goes to them and plants drugs on them and then arrests them. And he tells the judge, when I got there, we found drugs on him. That's a fact. Because when he got there were drugs on him. But the truth of the matter is, he planted them. So if he would have told the judge, yo, judge, on some real, we planted the drugs on him. And even in the video, you see that he said you shouldn't do drugs. Really? Come on now. These people just don't need fired. They need to go to prison for life, because they probably gonna give them the death penalty. But they need to go to prison for life. And we got to do better. Do y'all really want better? Because some more cases is going to come. Because they know it ain't none of these laws set up to take them to prison. It's simple. Man. So I just wanted to say that. But we got to do better. So, as always, love y'all. God bless. And it's going to take the right people. Don't forget to pray for your enemies, because enemies in the dictionary mean anybody causing hatred in your life. And I know you might not want to pray for some of these certain cops, but if you don't pray for them, they're going to continue doing some of this stuff. All right, I'm out.